Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of The Sports World According to Frank. We're coming to you, as we always do, live from the 615, where we break all major breaking sports news, especially when it comes to the big three of Tennessee. That's right, we are the home to your average fan of the Tennessee Titans, Nashville Predators, and Nashville SC. We know that you guys are working your asses off out there. We know that you don't have time to listen to all the post-game press conferences and watch the highlights or break down game film. So we do all of that stuff for you and break it down into 7-minute segments. 7 minutes for the Tennessee Titans, 7 minutes for the Nashville Predators, 7 minutes for Nashville SC, so that you can go into your Friday and your weekend and not sound like a dumbass because you still think Derrick Henry is on the Tennessee Titans. And that's our goal here. I'll be your host, Frank. Every guest that we have on this program have also agreed to be frank. And frankly, that's the way we want it around here. As the average sports fans of the big three of Tennessee, somebody needs to hold somebody accountable. And this is that podcast. Welcome, everybody, to The Sports World According to Frank. Last week, we ended with some good news with Nashville SC heading into their pivotal Game 3. Winner moves on, loser goes home. But the reason we're starting this week with Nashville SC is because, unfortunately, the Big 3 is now down to the Big 2. That's right, Nashville SC fell to Inter Miami 4-0 this past Saturday down in Miami. Lionel Messi just proved to be too much. We talked about it last week. We said, with Suarez out, there's no excuse not to double-team Messi anytime he's on your half of the field. And absolutely under no circumstances does he get a shot off from his favorite spot on the field at the top of the 18. We said no shots from the 18. And in the first half, Messi gets 2 shots off from the 18, scores on both. 2-0 Miami. Nashville's climbing uphill the rest of the game. We talked about it last week. Can one man make a difference? I said I think he can, especially when it's the greatest player of all time. The stats speak for themselves, but the eye test also speaks for itself. Nashville does not have an answer for Lionel Messi. They can handle Miami. Inter Miami is not some juggernaut that Nashville can't overcome. I don't think Nashville in any way is scared of Inter Miami, but I do think that Messi is in their head. How can he not be? When we talk and say things like, I bet you if they played 10 times, they'd win 9. Well, do you know how I know that that's an accurate stat? Because Nashville SC and Inter Miami have played 10 times, and Inter Miami has won 9. So, it's not like a saying. It's a fact. In 10 games against Nashville SC, Lionel Messi has scored 15 goals. Think about that for a second. 15 goals in 10 games. In this 3-game series, Miami outscored Nashville 8-3. Lionel Messi accounted for 6 of those 8, and the other 2 were his assists. So, I don't say it for my health. I say it because that's what the eye test says, and that's what the numbers say. Lionel Messi and Lionel Messi alone owns Nashville right now, the way that Peyton Manning owned the Titans back in the day, the way that Steph Curry owned the Memphis Grizzlies. It's just one of those things, and you're on the unlucky end of it. Nashville SC has nothing to be ashamed of. It's 2025 U.S. Open Cup champions. Sam Surridge leading the MLS in goals scored heading into the last game of the season. Nashville SC with a record high 22 wins, record high in goals scored. They also had a 15-game win streak, which was an MLS best in the middle of the season. So a historic season by any stretch of the imagination, and we're starting to see a lot of the younger up-and-comers that are being implemented into B.J. Callahan's system perform so much better than we even anticipated. So there's a lot to be hopeful for, especially with the dangerous duo that is now Sam Surridge and Hani Mukhtar. Like we said, Sam Surridge was leading the MLS in goals scored heading into the last game of the season. A lot of things to be really proud of. And really, we should just, at this moment, recognize a historic season. So the future looks really promising. The front attack looks dangerous. So the next couple of years are going to be a lot of fun. The midfield is stout. The question marks I have right now is when it comes to Daniel Lovitz, when it comes to Walker Zimmerman and Big Joe Willis. And unfortunately, we just got word last night Nashville SC is not going to look the way that it has since its inception. Big Joe Willis will not be returning to Nashville SC next year. We're going to get a lot more into that next week and give them their proper dues. because they deserve it. But right now, we're just going to end with saying thank you to Big Joe for all of his contributions and his professionalism in helping get Nashville to where we are today. But the one that's going to sting the most for you fans, and I'm sorry to have to be the bearer of bad news, Walker Zimmerman will not be returning to the club next season. He's an unrestricted free agent, and the truth of the matter is that whether it be the injuries or his wear and tear from his duties with the U.S. national team, we all love Walker Zimmerman. He's a boy in gold for life, and anytime he comes back to the castle, I know that we're going to show him love and appreciation because he's one of us forever and ever. I don't know how you replace the heart and soul that is Walker Zimmerman. There are going to be some huge shoes to fill, but I actually feel optimistic heading into this offseason that we have the pieces in place to be successful for the next few years. I'm really excited to have BJ Callahan running things and filling those shoes. So thank you again for all of the great memories this year at Geodis Park and throughout the season. Nashville SC, a class organization from top to bottom, and can't wait to see you on the pitch and in the castle. First game next season. We love you guys. Thank you. Coming in at number 2 this week, again, are the Nashville Predators for the second week in a row, actually, number 2. Perhaps that's because they've been playing like number 2. Thanks, Pa. My mom's not going to like that one, but my niece and nephew will, so worth it. So the Predators have traveled to Stockholm, Sweden this week after Monday night's game in New York, taking part in the NHL Global Series in a 2-game stay, Friday 1 p.m. puck drop, and Sunday 7:30 a.m. Ugh, brutal puck drop. Both games against the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Penguins have been very good out of the gate, almost the exact opposite of the Preds' record at 9-5-3. I know some of you are out there doing the math in your head and saying that can't be right, but the Penguins do still have Sidney Crosby and Evander Malkin as their core players. The same guys that beat us back in 2017. Yep, those same guys, and they're still very, very good. But we'll finish with the upcoming game against the Penguins here in a second. First, let's recap last week real quick and why these next 2 games against the Pens now are the most important of the season for the Predators. Last week, we talked about Coach Andrew Brunette already being on the hottest of hot seats coming into the season. We said there are 10 games until Thanksgiving, and those games would determine who survives longer this year, Coach Andrew Brunette or this year's Thanksgiving turkey. Whoa. We're not taking hostages today, are we? We said, let's not get ahead of ourselves and wipe the slate clean. Just focus on winning 2 of the next 3 games last week. 2 of their 3 games starting with Philadelphia last Thursday night. So how did last week go? Let me just put it this way. If the bet is who survives longer, this year's Thanksgiving turkey or Coach B's tenure as the head coach of the Nashville Predators, my money is all in on the turkey. It's all in on the turkey. In those 3 games, since we last met up, guys, the Preds went 0-3. And that's not even the worst part. They actually played well at times in those games. They played the Flyers tough last Thursday. I thought that was one of their better games of the season. Just a couple unlucky bounces. They end up losing 3-1. Saturday's matinee, by the way, shout out to a Tennessee Saturday night. They had a sold-out Vanderbilt Stadium for the Auburn game and a sold-out Bridgestone Arena down on Lower Broadway at the same time. Way to show up and show out, Nashville. You got 17,000 that chose to miss the Vandy and Auburn game to cheer on their Preds, to try to will them to a win. They finally see an offensive output that's been missing, putting up 4 goals, including a hat trick from the youngster Woods, which was an awesome thing to see, but your defense gives up 5 goals, and you lose. So, yeah, at least you get frosty. It's frosty time in Smashville. And Vanderbilt ends up pulling off the win in OT against Auburn, so there is that to try to ease the sting a little bit. But it really doesn't, because then on Monday night against the Rangers, the last game in the U.S. before they head over to Sweden to play in the Global Series against the Penguins, mentally they didn't even show up. For 2 periods at MSG, they did not show up. And so you got to put that all on coaching. You got to put it on coaching. I understand you have a bunch of young players who are about to go on this trip to Europe and play in Sweden for the first time. It's easy to have your mind on other things heading into last Monday night's game. I get that. But I go back to these are professionals who make millions and millions of dollars to win hockey games. And right now, for whatever reason, they're not doing that. We said last week Stamkos was playing slow, but the whole team is playing slow at times. And while I love that Barry Trotz is one of the most loyal of loyal people, he's in large part responsible for this current roster, and he's going to have to save his job and the future of the team. In order to do that, he might have to put his big boy pants on and make some really hard decisions sooner than he wanted to. Because last week I said if Coach Andrew Brunette doesn't turn it around in the 10 games before Thanksgiving, there's going to be a change at head coach. Here's my updated fans' prediction for this week. If the Preds don't put up their best 2 games of the season this weekend and win, it'll be the last 2 games we see Andrew Brunette as a head coach of this team. And that's sad because it's not all his fault, but 2 back-to-back seasons starting out 5-9 is unacceptable for the standards that this franchise has for itself. Next is going to be Trotzy if he doesn't turn this thing around. An interim coach isn't going to do much this season. So like the Titans, you're looking at a complete forced rebuild. But that's not a bad thing. It means you pick the people that you think are your core players for the future, and everyone else is for sale. It's going to be hard to do. Nobody wants to do it. I get it. But like the Titans, you got to do it. You got to stop the bleeding. Saros and Brady Shea are on 8-year contracts. That was the first bad move Trotzy made as GM. Unfortunately, Shea isn't worth anything on the open market because he sucks. So we're stuck with him for now, and we just have to hope he plays better. Saros is another one. Love Saros, appreciate everything he's done to keep us from looking like a worse team. He would be an amazing addition to a team who's just a goalie away from being a contender, and Saros deserves that. But it's going to be hard to find someone to take that 7-year deal off our hands. And Stamkos is another one. Yes, he's not as quick as he used to be, but he's a great player, great teammate, and leader. A team that's a cup contender could use somebody like a Stamkos as an addition to the power play. Somewhere where he doesn't have to carry all of the weight. He can just be a set-piece player to an already good team. Yeah, you might lose O'Reilly. Forsberg and Yossi, they stay, even though nobody knows the captain's status, all the more reason he wouldn't get much return. But also he's the captain, and Phillip is a star like Derrick Henry that you can build around. You don't trade those pieces. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Like our message to Vandy last week, our message to the Predators this weekend against the Pittsburgh Penguins is just win. Don't lose, and everything will take care of itself. Otherwise, next week, we're going to be talking seriously about this drama that's about to unfold down on Lower Broadway. Go Preds. And finally, when you hear that music, the smiles turn upside down. Because it's not some scary-ass circus. It means the Titans are back in town. And the circus certainly has landed back in town. We've talked about the dysfunction that's been the Tennessee Titans organization over the last couple years. We talked about owner Amy Adams Strunk and the fact that she still lives and primarily works out of Houston, Texas, and she'll fly in on Saturday, watch the game on Sunday, and then fly back home to Houston. And then we have to live with the decisions she makes from halfway across the country that cause chaos right here in the Music City, but okay. Well, this weekend, our 1-8 Tennessee Titans will take on another team that will also be flying in from Houston to Nashville this weekend, and that is our division rival, the Houston Texans, an organization that has nothing to do with the Houston Oilers or the Tennessee Titans, no matter what their petty owner says. Aside from playing in the same city that was home to an original NFL team, the Houston Oilers, that was founded by our owner, Bud Adams, father of Amy, same owner who moved the Oilers to Tennessee in the 90s, same one who changed the name to the Titans. It's like, I'm sorry, but your history has nothing to do with ours. Quit trying to rewrite it. Aside from you being the second NFL team from the city of Houston, them be the facts. But none of that is relevant this week. Because for me, the Titans should be bigger than the petty Texans owner who's trying to steal the Oilers and Titans history, steal the baby blue part of their... It's petty. And I want you to beat Houston 100-0 just because of it. Because I'm petty. But I don't want the Titans to be petty. We have bigger problems. And who gives up about them trying to steal our colors? Or we have 1 win on the season, 8 losses, and one of those losses to the same Houston team that beat us 26-0 in Houston earlier this year. You know, the same place where our owner lives. That's got to be nice, by the way. Once a year, she doesn't have to travel. She just stays home and lets her team come to her. I mean, what screams I'm a billionaire more than that? I'm sorry. What is she going to see when she and the Houston Texans get to Nashville this weekend, knowing whatever happens on that field this Sunday at 12 on Fox is her doing? The crap pie that was once our beloved Tennessee Titans was prepped and baked by her. And yes, they're bad this year. Won't be going to the playoffs this year. Fired their head coach 6 games into the season this year. And now an interim head coach is leading your number 1 overall pick rookie quarterback. He'll be learning from new coaches next year and a whole new system, so it's a crap pie. So my proposal coming out of the bye week to fellow Titans fans for our sanity is this. Forget watching the Titans games this season hoping to see a win. It's probably not going to happen very often. Mike Borgonzi came out during this bye week and held a press conference saying, "We are in full rebuild mode." Said we didn't expect to see a lot of winning this year. Gee, that's maybe not the way I'd start a press conference, but I get where he's coming from. But he says he has a plan to rebuild the culture and roster much like he helped to do in Kansas City, a culture of team-first mentality, a culture of winning, and that starts by drafting young players who fit the mold they want the team to be, guys that are excited to put in the hard work that the fans don't see, so we all see results on Sundays. I'm cool with all of that. Borgonzi believes they've got that core group of young players, and that's where I'm not so certain. I hope he's right. He says recently drafted players that fit the mold are players like rookie quarterback Cam Ward, rookie wide receivers Chim DK, Alik Iomanner, rookie tight end Gunnar Helm. And our defense, he said, is firmly built around Jeffrey Simmons. He will be the cornerstone that they build around, which is good news because he's supposedly back to playing this week after a hamstring injury. So you've got Devondre Sweat, who could be really good if he learns from Jeffrey and puts in the work. But like I said, this is my proposal. This year and this year only, while they rebuild, quote unquote, rebuild and find a new head coach and offensive line and all the other pieces that they're missing, he has at least given us a game plan, which is good. Because in the past, I don't think we had one. So moving forward, we only judge Mike Borgonzi's Titans based on what he said to everyone this past week. We're a young team still learning the speed of the pro game. The only way that those players can learn is to get real game reps. So this year, that's what it's all about, trying to build up their confidence around the young core group. So that's what I'm going to be watching for, and that's what I'm going to be judging the Titans by every game for the rest of the season. The young core group of quarterback Cam Ward, want to see progression every week from him. Wide receiver Chim DK, already our best returner, but emerging as a dangerous wideout weapon for Cam. Also be watching for fellow rookie wide receiver Alik Iomanner. Hasn't had the production yet that the Titans were hoping he would early on, but he's young, so a lot like Cam Ward, just want to see growth every week. Rookie tight end out of Texas, Gunnar Helm. I like what we've seen so far from him. He hasn't been as consistent, and he definitely needs work in the run block game, but he's a big boy with good hands. Keep an eye on him. Finally, on defense, Big Jeff. All-pro defensive end Jeffrey Simmons will be the one piece of the defense that will be here for sure for years to come if Mike Borgonzi gets his way. Love Simmons' attitude all season and really the past few seasons with all the losing going on. He rarely complains. He's been a good leader, the best defensive player in the NFL leading up to when he got hurt a few weeks ago. But like we said, when he's healthy, we know what he can do. He's back this week, so time to start judging the defense, starting with Big Jeff. And that's what I'm looking for this Sunday. Tighten up, baby. And for everybody who's timing the 7-minute segments, I shaved off about a minute from each one this week so I could save 3 minutes for one of the little three of Tennessee. Just wanted to shout out really quick Clark Lee and the Vanderbilt Commodores for their unreal turnaround that we've seen to this program over the last few years. We've been huge fans of Clark Lee. Diego Pavia is a huge part of that too, no doubt about it. He should be the MVP of college football. But also, in my opinion, with what he did against Texas in their 3-point loss and last week against Auburn in their overtime win, he deserves to be in the conversation for the Heisman. And if somehow he gets Vanderbilt to the college football playoffs, I don't know if he should win it. That's for smarter football people to decide. But he definitely deserves to be a finalist. One of the 4 for the Heisman Trophy. Exciting stuff around here. No Vandy football this week, so everybody can relax and enjoy the circus. I mean the game at Nissan on Sunday with the Clowns. Thank you, my friends, for listening again this week. If you enjoyed this week's episode, remember to hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss any of the action. For now, we out from Smashville. Love y'all. Tighten up. Go Preds.